until a cup full of water loses or discards part of its liquid content. It lacks the capacity to accommodate additional liquid. What is lost somewhere is gained in another place. We cannot obtain what we lack if we tenaciously cling to what we have. In the physical world, there's a law of compensation which states that the appearance of a given amount of energy anywhere means the disappearance of the same amount somewhere else. And so we find that we get only what we give. To get, you must first give. Welcome to Success Digest, where we analyze and discuss the requisites needed for your financial independence, enabling you to live a life of abundance. My name is Kayode Eniraiyetan, the publisher of Success Digest video series, together with the jonas and the CEO Kiness Console Limited, a financial service firm that is based in London. I'm going to discuss with you today on the topic law of compensation. Law of compensation. I lay no claim to law of compensation. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803 to 1882, reflected on this concept comprehensively in his essay that was first published in 1841. It says there is a balance or reciprocity in life that ensures that we receive what we give, and to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. I deeply subscribe to this principle. Here at Success Digest, we believe that your success in life is directly proportional to your efforts and the value of your contribution, energy, and action put toward the manifestation of your desire in life, the principle of cause and effect. To amount to anything in life, you must first find your definiteness of purpose, then create a definite plan for the accomplishment of that definite of purpose, then engage the aid of nature's law of hypnotic rhythm, and then use asset of time to assist you in reaching your greatest success, which is perseverance. Nothing worthwhile is achieved overnight. Your greatest accomplishment in life is to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else. Remember, you reap what you sow. For everything you have missed, you have gained something else. And for everything you gain, you lose something else. There is no vacuum in life. Growth is necessary for success. And this can only be attained through an exchange of the old for the new, of the good for the better. It is a conditional or reciprocal action. For each of us is a complete thought entity. And this completeness makes it for us to receive only as we give. If you wish to eliminate fear, concentrate on courage. If you wish to eliminate lack, concentrate on abundance. If you wish to eliminate disease, concentrate on health. The source of all supply has omnipotent power, and we must adjust our consciousness to this supply in such a way that it will constantly attract all that is necessary to itself. And we shall find that the more we give, the more we get. Giving in this sense implies service. The banker gives his money. The merchant gives his goods. The author gives his thought. The workman gives his skill. All have to give. But the more they can give, the more they get. And the more they get, the more they are enabling to give. Much leads to more. Wealth comes as a result of ability to create. Wealth then should never be desired as an end, but simply as a means of accomplishing an end. Hence, the mistake should not be made of substituting the means for the end. There must be a definite fixed purpose and idea. This power to create depends entirely upon spiritual power. These are three, and they are: number one, idealization; number two, visualization; and the third one, materialization. Thought necessarily precedes and determines action. Again, law of cause and effect. Whatever enters the mind through the five senses or the objective mind will impress the mind and result in a mental image which will become a pattern for the creative energies. These experiences are largely the result of environment, chances, past thinking, and other forms of negative thoughts, and must be subjected to careful analysis before being entertained. On the other hand, we can form our own mental images through our own interior processes of thought, regardless of external conditions, regardless of environment of every kind, and it is by the exercise of this power that we can control our own destiny, body, mind, and soul. We therefore, by the exercise of this power, that we take our fate out of the hands of chances and consciously make for ourselves the experience which we desire. You may be pursuing the symbol of power instead of power itself. You may be pursuing fame instead of honor. You may be pursuing riches instead of wealth, position instead of servitude. In either event, you will find that they turn to ashes just as you overtake them. Premature wealth or position cannot be retained because it has not been earned. We get only what we give, and those who try to get without giving always find that the law of compensation is relentlessly bringing about an equilibrium. The race has usually been for money and other mere symbols of power. But with an understanding of the true source of power, we can afford to ignore the symbols. The man with a large bank account finds it unnecessary to load his pocket down with gold. So, with the man who has found the true source of power, he is no longer interested in its charms or pretensions. Through the operation of the law of compensation, everyone reaps that which he sows. Plan based on unjust or immoral may bring temporary success, but enduring success must take time into consideration. Time is the enemy of immorality and injustice. It is the friend of justice and morality. Failure to recognize this fact has been responsible for the high crime wave among the youth of this world. For the useful, inexperienced mind is not apt to mistake of taking the temporary gain of immoral, unjust plan, but neglect to look ahead and observe the penalties which follow immoral acts as definite as night follow day. Another detriment to greater height is the act that dwell primarily on selfish purposes, the inevitable result of an infertile mind. When a mind becomes mature, it understands that the germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. The trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected with that transaction. Any attempt to profit by the weakness, the ignorance, or necessity of another will inevitably operate to his disadvantage. This is because the individual is part of the universal. A part cannot antagonize any other part, but on the contrary, the welfare of each part depends upon a recognition of the interest of the whole. A generous thought, particularly that of service to humanity, is filled with strength and vitality, whereas a selfish thought contains the germ of dissolution. It will disintegrate and pass away. We make money by making friends, and we enlarge our circle of friends by making money for them, by helping them, by being of service to them. The first law of success then is service, and this in turn built on integrity and justice. The man who at least is not fair in his intention is simply ignorant. He has missed the fundamental law of all exchange. It is impossible. He will lose surely and certainly. He may not know it. He may think he is winning, but he is doomed to certain defeat. He cannot cheat the infinite. The law of compensation will demand of him an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You can make money magnet of yourself, but to do this, you must first consider how you can make money for other people. You need to keep an open mind, to constantly reach out for the new, to recognize opportunity, to be interested in the race rather than the goal. For the pleasure is in pursuit rather than the possession. If you have the necessary insight to perceive and utilize opportunities and favorable conditions and recognize values, you can put yourself in position to take advantage of them. But your greatest success will come as you are able to assist others. What benefits one must benefit all. Enormous amounts come and go, but it will be as dangerous to stop the outgoing as the incoming. Both hands must remain open, and so our greatest success will come as we recognize that it is just as essential to give as to receive. Rendering a service attracts compensation, and you can no more render service without receiving compensation than you can withhold the rendering of it without suffering the loss of reward. That is how important it is to render service, and more important to render more service than you are paid for. Causes and effect, means and end, seed and fruit cannot be separated, for the effect already blooms in the cause. The end pre-exists in the means, the fruit in the seed. If you serve an ungrateful master, serve him the more. You are putting God in his debt in the process. Every stroke shall be repaid, even more with time. There is this law of nature that dictates that do the thing and you shall have the power. But he who do not do the thing have not the power. A lot of people suffers the foolish superstition that they are being cheated. It is impossible for a man to be cheated by anyone but himself. There is always a third silent party to all our bargains, and what it does is to take upon itself the guarantee of fulfillment of every contract so that honest service cannot come to any loss. You succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. The gem of defeat is in every selfish thought, I repeat. In the process of building your temple of success, you might think you are wise to adopt the principle of show me the color of your money and I will show you what I can do. Reverse this rule and say, let me show you the color of my service so that I may take a look at the color of your money. If you like my service, you will see that you will be better off. We go through two important periods in our life. One is that period during which we are gathering, classifying, and accumulating knowledge. And the other is that period during which we are struggling for recognition. And this is the necessary for the application of the knowledge that has been acquired. You will find it difficult to go far if you allow money to overshadow the rendering of a good service, whereas money will be chasing you when you are known as the provider of good service. I'm concluding this discussion with the story of a woman nearing her 50 years milestone of life and working as a stenographer, earning $15 a week with one applied psychologist. 25 years into her working as a stenographer, this same woman received an income of over $100,000 in 1 year as a prominent lecturer on the subject of applied psychology. How does she achieve this mighty chance between these two earning capacities? You may ask. It was through the habit of performing more service and better service than that for which she was paid. This gave her the opportunity to acquire knowledge that made her a prominent lecturer of her field. The law of compensation gave her what she lost in wages. There is no vacuum in nature, and for everything you have missed, you have gained something else. And for everything you gain, you lose something else. I'm stopping here, but there's more to this law of compensation than what is discussed here. We offer one-to-one discussion on this or any of my previous discussions on Success Digest. And if you are interested, feel free to contact us at Kiness Console Limited and allow us to discuss with you more enlightenments and ingredients needed for becoming financially independent. We are the financial experts that specializes in financial management. We will invest your fund on financial instruments for you at stock exchange and manage it for you thereafter. We also provide training in career and skill development, business and entrepreneurial development, business counseling and mentoring, and this includes youth vocational training. Let us continue to travel together on this journey of success through the path of wisdom. To be informed, to be transformed, and not to be informed is to be deformed. I'm CEO Kayode Eniraiyetan, and I can be reached on 07427942000 or 07951775255. Better still, visit our website, Kiness Console Limited.uk, Kiness Console Limited.uk. If you are blessed by this video, please subscribe to it, share it, and like it. Also visit our blog on YouTube for more of our videos. Please continue to enjoy your success.
Welcome to Success Digest, where you obtain ingredients for your financial abundance and financial wellness and be fully financially independent. Let us travel together on this our journey of success through the path of wisdom. To be informed is to be transformed. Not to be informed is to be deformed. Success Digest leads you to financial independence.